So we're in lesson 23, and we're going to talk about graphical solutions. Let me shorten this just a little bit so it doesn't take up our entire space. Here we go. And I'm going to do the same thing here, bring it in a little bit, because we don't need that much space for these problems. There we go. That's going to give me the opportunity to move the board just a wee bit. There we go. I can move that over, get that out of the way. All right, so let's go back to talking about our graphical solutions. So we can solve linear equations in 3 ways: elimination, substitution, and graphically. And we're going to review the graphical part. We're given 2 linear equations. 3y minus 2x equals 6, and y plus x equals -1. All right, so we need to solve these or graph these in order to find where they cross, and that will be our solution. So let's solve this one first. We need to put it in the proper format, and that is going to be y equals mx plus b. So in order to do that, we need to move x over here and then divide by this 3. So that's going to be y equals 2x plus 6. So we change to the side, we change the signs. Oh, I'm sorry, we have a 3 there. Now we divide everything by 3. So it's y equals 2 over 3. That's 2. X. 6 over 3 is 2. Okay? So now we can graph this line. And that's going to be a y-intercept of 2. So we go up here to 2, we put our dot. And now we use the slope to graph the rest of the points. And that's going to be up 2 over 3. So up 2 over 3. And we can even do the reverse, down 2 to the left 3. That gives us our line. So let me draw that. Make sure that's in the right place. There we go. It's much easier to do this in the real world because you can just line a ruler up and be done with it. I can't do that on the screen. So now we're going to solve this one so that we can graph it. So we need to move the x over, so it's going to be y equals negative x minus 1. And so we know that the slope here is 1 over 1 because there's always that invisible 1, and in order to turn it a fraction, you put it over 1. So our line here is going to have a y-intercept of -1, so let's mark that in. And then our rise is a -1, so it's actually a sink. So it's down 1 over 1. So down 1 over 1 is going to put us here. Down 1 over 1, so it's just a 45-degree angle. So now we can draw that line in. Hopefully I can get that right. There we go. All right, so we can see right here that our intersection is not exactly on a point. It's kind of 3/4 of the way this way, and it looks like 4/5 up. So that point actually looks like it's about at, on the x-axis, I'd say that's negative 1.8 or 1.75. That'd be really close. And then on the y-axis, I would say that's about a 0.8 as well. It's a little bit more than 3/4. So we'll say 0.8. All right, so that's about where we are for our coordinate. So now we're going to check that by solving these two with elimination and make sure we're right. Okay, so let's get our original here, which was 3y minus 2x. My pen doesn't always pick up everything. It has like a delay almost. All right, those are our original two linear equations. Now what we're going to do is we are going to multiply this one, move it over. In order to do elimination, we need to have a positive that will help us. So let's use 2. Let's make, since 2 is negative, it's really easy to just turn this into the one that we need. So 2 times y is going to be 2y. 2 times x is going to be positive 2x. And 2 times negative 1 is going to be a negative 2. Now we can do our elimination. These two cancel. That gives us 5y equals 4. So y equals 4 over 5. Right? So now we can sub that in here. We have y, which is 4 over 5, plus x equals negative 1. So we're going to solve this by changing the sides and changing the signs. So x is going to be equal to negative 1 minus 4 over 5. And we are going to change this negative 1 into a fraction. So negative 5 over 5 is the same as negative 1 minus 4 over 5, which equals negative 9 over 5. So x equals negative 9 over 5. So now we are going to check that by dropping in these values for x and y into one of these. Actually, no, I'm sorry. We don't have to check it because we just checked it by using this, by putting it back in. What we're going to do is we're going to look at the point that we had and check it against what we solved for. So if y is 4 over 5, 4 divided by 5 is 0.8, and that's our y. Negative 9 over 5 is the same thing as negative 1.8 if you divide. So we got the same point graphing and solving for elimination. And that's all we had to do. Do we have another problem for this lesson? Yes, we have one more. So I'm going to clear this. Actually, I'm just going to clear the whole page. It's easier. And I'm going to draw another little graph for us. Let's get a little line here. Okay. So here is our linear equations, and we're going to use substitution to check our answer this time after we graph it. So let's look and see. All right, so we have y minus 2x equals 2. If you'll write these down and work them as we go, it'll be a lot easier. And y equals a negative 3. All right, so let's separate those and see what we need to do. All right, for this one, we need to move this over. So y equals 2x plus 2. We know that slope needs to be a fraction, so we do that. So our y-intercept is positive 2, so it's right there. And our slope says up to over 1, so that's going to be here. So we can draw our line from that. There we go. There's the first line. Actually, we need to take that further. So let me go over here to our shape. There we go. And as long as we maintain the slope of, all right, 2 and 1, 2 and 1, 2 and 1, then we are okay. So let me make sure I get that right where I want it. Right there. There we go. So it crosses those points right where it needs to. All right, so let's do our second line. This one's really easy. Y equals -3. It just means we go y all the way across at -3, -1, -2, -3. So right here, we just draw a straight line all the way across. So now we can find our graphical connection, and that's going to be right here at about, oh, it looks at about, it's -3, and it looks like about, at about 2.5. So let's say 2.5. Oh goodness. Let me get my pen back. 2.5. And it's going to be a -2.5 because it's on this side, and a -3. And that's our point. So we solve that by using our substitution. And we could easily do substitution with this because we have y minus 2x equals 2, and we already know what y is. It's -3. So we can just come down here and say -3 minus 2x equals 2. So we can change sides and change signs. -2x equals 5. So x equals -5 over 2. You follow? We divided that by 2. Okay. And we got the 5 because we brought the -3 over. It became a +3. Okay. So x is equal to -5 over 2. So we don't have an x in this linear equation, so we need to use this linear equation in order to solve. Well, actually, I take that back. We don't have to solve for y because y is given to us. So yeah, y is -3, so that's correct. That checks. And -5 over 2, if we do the math, that equals -2.5. So that one checks out also. So we did both of those correctly. Our graphical solution matches our substitution solution. So we are good to go. And that's all we have for lesson 23. I'll see you in lesson 24.